My beloved child, in those hours when it seems as though the whole world has fallen asleep, I am still there, closer to you than you can feel. When the room holds only the sound of your sighs mingling with the darkness, when your heart trembles softly beneath a question that has not yet found an answer, I still hear. Not one of your whispers falls into emptiness. Not one of your longings is abandoned beneath the silent heavens. There are nights when you think you are simply sitting alone, facing the faint light of a lamp. But in truth, I am bending very close, seeing every trace of weariness on your face, every worry you hide in silence, every desire you do not dare speak aloud because you fear, hoping once more only to be disappointed again. You ask me why that door has not yet opened, why the thing you have prayed for still seems beyond your reach, why I can love you and still allow you to wait so long. My child, let me speak to you with the gentleness of a father. Delay is not always denial, and my silence never means that I have turned my back. There are things you long to receive immediately because, in your eyes, the best time is the very moment when your heart hurts the most. You think that if I love you, I must instantly lift the burden, instantly make a way, instantly bring the answer before dawn. But I see beyond your present pain. I see what that answer will require of you. I see that you need to be strengthened, rearranged within, and taught how to stand firm, not only when everything is favorable, but also when the thing you are waiting for has not yet appeared. I do not withhold what is good in order to make you sad. I hold it until the right time so that what is good will not become a burden upon shoulders that are not yet ready. A seed pulled from the soil too soon will never become a tree. Fruit picked too early will not carry its full sweetness. In the same way, what I am preparing for you needs time to take root, to grow, and to come to you in the season when you can receive it without losing your peace. You have cried many times without anyone knowing. You have smiled to reassure others while inside you still carried unnamed shadows. I know the times you tried to be strong but felt almost completely drained. I know the questions you swallowed because you did not want anyone to think you lacked faith. I know you have blamed yourself, thinking perhaps you were not good enough, not worthy enough, not patient enough to receive my answer. But my beloved child, do not turn your season of waiting into a sentence against yourself. I do not measure my love for you by the speed of my answer, nor do I use delay to make you feel small. Sometimes I allow you to walk a longer road, not because you have been forgotten, but because along that road I am healing the hidden places within you, teaching you to recognize my voice more clearly, and removing from you haste, dependence on outcomes, and the fear that if you have not yet seen a miracle, then you have not been loved. In that quiet space, I am doing far more than you imagine. When you think nothing is moving, I am arranging what you cannot see. When you think your prayer has been left somewhere behind, I am holding it safely within my timing. When you see the door before you still closed, I may be keeping it shut to protect you from a path that appears beautiful, but is not meant for you. There are answers that, if they came too soon, would carry you into places you are not yet wise enough to steward. There are opportunities that, if opened while your heart is still afraid, would make you cling to them out of distrust. There are connections that, if given before you have learned boundaries, would wound you even more. I am not only concerned that you receive what you ask for, I care that you become a person steady enough, discerning enough, and tender enough to carry it in grace. Remember Abraham and Sarah. They received a great promise, but the road from promise to fulfillment was not as short as the human heart would have wished. The years passed, age settled upon their hair, and hope seemed many times to wither in the waiting. At times they were confused, tried to understand in their own way, and wondered how the impossible could ever take form. But I did not forget the word I had planted. When every human possibility seemed to close, I still kept my timing, so that when the child was born, that joy was not only an answer for one family, but also a mark that what I promise is not worn down by time. Do you see? I am not late simply because it feels long to you. I am not weakened simply because the situation appears impossible. What I have placed within my loving plan will come in such a way that you will understand. My hand was always working, even when your eyes could not yet see it. Therefore, in the season you are walking through, do not view waiting as an empty room. See it as a place where I am teaching you to breathe more deeply, trust more firmly, and live more honestly. There are lessons that cannot be learned in the sound of celebration, but are carved into the heart through long nights. There is beauty that cannot be formed in haste, but must be refined through patience. You are learning to love me, not only for what I give, but because I am the place to which you return. You are learning to pray, not only to receive an answer, but to be renewed in my presence. You are learning to stand firm when there is no clear sign yet, because mature faith is not seeing everything before taking a step, but holding my hand while you still do not fully understand the road. I know there are times when you feel as though you are walking through fog. Everything ahead is unclear. Every step must be felt out carefully, and you fear that you will choose wrongly, trust wrongly, hope wrongly. But I do not ask you to see the entire journey. I simply invite you to stay close to me in the next step. The light I give often does not illuminate the whole long road, but it is enough to keep you from stumbling in this moment. And as you are faithful with today's small step, I will reveal what must be seen for tomorrow. Do not despise small things, a short prayer, a righteous decision, one moment of choosing peace instead of panic, one moment of silence before words that wound you, one more time, rising after you have grown tired. These things are building within you a foundation that storms will not easily sweep away. A time will come when you look back on this season and understand that I was never absent. You will see that the silent days made you deeper. The answers that arrived late protected you from what was not yet fitting, and your tears watered the ground that would later bloom. You will realize that I did not only bring you to the destination, I transformed you along the way. I did not only open the door, I taught you to recognize which door carries true peace. I did not only grant what you asked, I enlarged your heart so it would know how to give thanks, humbled it so it would not become proud, and strengthened it so it would not be swept away by what it received. My beloved child, if in recent days your heart has felt more easily shaken than before, do not rush to conclude that you are weak or that you have lost your way. There are seasons when I allow you to recognize instability, not so that you will condemn yourself, but so you will see what needs to be cared for before it becomes a breaking point. A branch may still look green, but if it has begun to rot within, a strong wind is enough to break it. A wall may appear whole from afar, but if the foundation has quietly been washed away little by little, one day people will be astonished at how something once so firm could collapse so quickly. I do not tell you this to plant fear in your heart. I speak because I love you with the love of a father who sees farther than what you see. Hears the tiny cracks in the places you still think are safe, and calls you back before your steps move closer to a danger you have not yet recognized. There are signs that do not come like a loud bell ringing in the public square. They come very softly, a weariness you underestimate, a fading joy you try to ignore, a prayer postponed for one more day, a small habit that makes the light within you grow dimmer, a dark thought you assume will disappear on its own. You tell yourself that it is not serious, that you only need a little more rest, that tomorrow you will correct it, that just this once will not affect anything. But my child, many deep pits do not begin with a great fall. They begin with very small missteps, repeated in silence. I see you when you force yourself to smile, though you are exhausted inside. I see you when you answer that you are fine, while your heart is heavy, like a stone beneath deep waters. I see you silently enduring things no one asks about, carrying burdens without knowing where to lay them down. And precisely because I see, I awaken you with this gentle awareness. Understand this, my warning is not a sentence. It is a hand placed gently on your shoulder when you are about to keep walking without looking at the road. I do not want you to live in obsession, always suspicious of everything around you. I want you to live with wisdom. There is a great difference between fear and watchfulness. Fear makes you shrink, panic, and lose the ability to hear my voice. Watchfulness helps you stand firm. See clearly, choose rightly, correct things in time, and return to what is good before what is wrong has a chance to take root. When I cause your heart to feel uneasy about a choice, when I make you realize that a habit is no longer harmless, when I remind you that a relationship is drawing you away from the light, do not rush to silence that feeling. Bring it before me. Let me shine upon it. What I reveal is not meant to burden you, but to set you free from the cords that are forming very quietly. There are dark things that do not charge straight into your life with a terrifying appearance. They often come in forms that are small, gentle, and easy to excuse. They tell you to postpone what is good just a little longer. They make you gradually grow accustomed to not praying, not listening, not examining your heart, and not returning to the purity I once placed within you. They do not begin by pulling you very far away. They only need you to shift a very small distance from the light each day. Then, by the time you realize it, the things that once grieved you because they were wrong have become normal. The things that once gave you joy and holiness have become dull, and the light that once comforted you suddenly irritates you. My beloved child, that is why I do not let you sleep on. I would rather awaken you in a restless night than allow you to keep walking in a comfortable dream that leads to slow erosion. Remember the story of Samson. From the time he was in his mother's womb, he was set apart for a great purpose. His strength was not only in his arms, but in the covenant, in the holiness of what I had placed upon his life. Yet, little by little, he treated lightly what had been entrusted to him. He played with boundaries, entered places where he should not have lingered, and gave his ear to sweet words that softened his vigilance. Delilah did not steal his strength in the very first moment. She wore him down with repeated questions, with intimacy mixed with hidden intent, with pressure that made him tired until he loosened his grip on what was most precious. When he awoke, he thought he was still as before, but the covering had departed from him, and he did not know it. Do you see? The most frightening thing is not becoming weak, but becoming weak while still thinking you are as strong as before. I tell you this not to make you afraid, but so you will understand that what is holy must be guarded with humility, not blind self-confidence. And even though that story carries great pain, see my mercy in it as well. Even when Samson lost many things because of his carelessness, I did not forget him. When he turned back, when he recognized that the true source of strength was not in himself, I still heard his cry. This is so you may understand that if you have ever dismissed the signs, ignored the prompting, or allowed small things to pull you away from peace, I am not standing there to condemn you. I am standing there to call you home. I do not want you to drown in regret, because regret, if not placed within grace, becomes another chain. I want you to learn, rise, correct what must be corrected, lock the doors that need to be locked, Open the windows that need light, and let your life be reordered in my wisdom. Therefore, do not take lightly what is happening within your heart. When you find yourself becoming more irritable, ask what has been depleted. When you find yourself growing cold toward what is good, ask what has slipped in between you and the light. When you find yourself wanting to avoid people, responsibilities, and every reminder, stop and draw nearer to me instead of running farther away. I do not need you to cover your weariness with an appearance of strength. I do not need you to keep moving as though nothing has happened. I want you to be honest with me. Tell me where you hurt, where you are confused, where you feel yourself drifting. I am not surprised by your weaknesses. I am your father. I know the dust on your feet, the nights you cannot sleep, the times you stand before the mirror and wonder why your eyes no longer seem as clear as before. My beloved child, there are things I do not announce with roaring thunder, nor do I place them before your eyes with signs that leave you astonished. Sometimes I simply stir your life with a very small feeling, a passing uneasiness, a thought that rises suddenly in the night, a detail that seems meaningless but remains in your heart and will not leave. Do not rush to brush it away as though it is merely your sensitivity. Sometimes, in those quiet tremors, I am touching you, awakening within you the ability to see what has not yet been revealed, to hear what has not yet been spoken, and to recognize the silent movements drawing near to the places you must guard. I do not do this so that you will live in suspicion, and I certainly do not want you to shrink back in fear. I remind you because I love you. I shine light because I do not want you to pass by signs that you will later realize peace had once spoken through, but you had been too hurried to listen. My child, the watchfulness I place within you is not a burden. It is the small lamp I put in your hand as you walk through the dim corridors of life. A person without light will stumble into things that could have been avoided. A person with light will slow down, look more carefully, and choose more wisely. So when I draw your attention to something small, when I allow you to feel that something needs to be examined, do not take it lightly. A door slightly out of place, a word that leaves you uneasy, a habit quietly becoming dangerous, a relationship beginning to drain your purity, a decision that seems convenient but lacks inner peace. All these may be places where I am teaching you to stop. Not so you will panic, but so you will mature. Not so you will suspect everyone, but so you will discern. Not so you will build walls around yourself, but so you will learn to raise healthy boundaries around what I have entrusted to you. I have given you a home, and you must understand that this home is not only a place with walls, a roof, windows, and light. Your home is a symbol of what has been entrusted to you, your life, your family, the relationships you treasure, the work you are building, the piondena keep, and the blessings I have placed in your hands. A house does not collapse because of the first gust of wind, but if small cracks are ignored for too long, if a leaking roof is not repaired, if the foundation is eroded without anyone noticing, then, when a great storm comes, people painfully realize what could have been cared for earlier. In the same way, my beloved child, there are cracks in life that do not appear with loud noise. They begin with neglect, with boundaries being crossed little by little, with promises being treated lightly, with weariness not brought before me, with small choices that seem to have no consequence but gradually pull you away from good order. Therefore, when I remind you to observe, observe in peace. When I tell you to check again, check with wisdom. When I make you realize that something needs to be repaired, do not delay simply because it has not yet become a major problem. A wise person does not wait for water to flood the house before looking for the leak. One who is led by me does does not wait until the heart is exhausted before returning to the source of life. I want you to learn the art of caring for what is precious while it is still standing. You do not need to lose something before understanding its value. You do not need to suffer collapse before knowing what is worth keeping. There are graces I give, not by rescuing you from ashes, but by warning you before the fire catches in a hidden corner. Remember Nehemiah, who heard that the wall of Jerusalem had been broken down and its gates burned with fire. He did not treat it as a distant matter, nor did he simply sit and grieve while letting everything drift on. First, he brought the burden of his heart before me, and then he rose, examined each section of the wall at night, saw clearly which places needed rebuilding, which places needed protection, and which places had grown weak. He did not act in chaos, he acted through prayer, planning, courage, and perseverance. When voices mocked him, when others tried to distract him, when pressure tried to pull him away from the work that mattered, he did not leave what I had entrusted to him. Do you see? Watchfulness is not only recognizing danger, watchfulness is also taking your rightful place, guarding what is holy, and doing what must be done with a steadfast heart. I am calling you in the same way. Look again at the walls around your life, not to judge yourself, but to repair what must be repaired before a stranger finds a way in. From that story, understand that not every danger comes in a frightening form. Some harmful things appear familiar, reasonable, even pleasant. Excessive busyness may wear the clothing of responsibility. Compromise in the wrong place may wear the clothing of love. An invitation at the wrong time may wear the clothing of opportunity. A relationship that causes you to lose your peace may wear the clothing of long-standing closeness. Therefore, I do not want you to look only at the surface. I want you to see with the clarity I give. When something repeatedly causes you to lose your purity, when you must ignore the inner prompting in order to keep stepping into it, when the closer you come to it, the farther you drift from peace, stop and ask me. I will never blame you for being careful. I am pleased when you ask before opening a door. Consider before giving someone access, and listen before deciding. Ava, so, my beloved child, do not turn watchfulness into suspicion. I am not calling you to live like someone always waiting for disaster to strike. I am calling you to live like someone who keeps the lamp burning in their house. A good keeper of the home does not panic at every sound, but neither does that person sleep deeply when the door has begun to shake loose. Such a person knows how to distinguish between a passing breeze and a sign that needs attention. Such a person does not let fear rule, but lets wisdom lead the way. This is what I am forming within you, a life that is tender without being naive, loving without loosening every boundary, generous without handing the keys to every voice outside the door. You can still live kindly, still open your hands, still believe in what is good, but you do not need to ignore the warnings I send you in order to prove that you are strong. And as you begin to care for your home in this way, you will see that peace is no longer a fragile feeling that comes and goes. Peace becomes the fruit of a life arranged under my light. You will know what must be kept, what must be released, what must be repaired, what must be closed, and what must be brought into prayer instead of carried alone. I do not give you responsibility so that you will grow weary, but so that you will mature in grace. I do not simply bless you and then leave you to manage the blessing on your own. I teach you how to steward, how to preserve, how to protect precious things from silent erosion. A cared-for home becomes a refuge. A heart filled with light becomes a dwelling place for peace. An ordered life makes room for joy to grow. So if today I am drawing your attention to something, do not cover your ears simply because it seems small. Bring it to me. Ask me what needs to be recognized. what needs to be adjusted, what needs to be protected. I will not lead you by panic. I will lead you by light. I will not confuse you. I will give you clarity one step at a time. And when you learn to respond to my quiet promptings, you will no longer be caught off guard by things that could have been seen early. You will stand more firmly, more lightly, more wisely. The home I have entrusted to you will not only be sheltered from the rain and wind outside, but strengthened from within by faith, responsibility, love, and wisdom. Stay awake, my beloved child, but stay awake in peace. Guard what is precious, but do not be afraid. Repair what must be repaired, but do not condemn yourself, for I am with you, not to make you anxious, but to teach you how to protect what is valuable before it is wounded. My beloved child, I want you to step into the coming days not with feet heavy from having to prove something to the world, but with a quiet, deep freedom that I have planted within you. This freedom is not noisy, not showy, and does not need anyone's approval in order to be real. It is the freedom of one who knows they are loved, guided, and kept, and therefore no longer has to chase every outside call as though every door will close if they are one step too late. You have lived before in the fear of missing out, thinking that every opportunity passing by must be seized, every invitation must be answered, and every gaze must be pleased. But I am teaching you another rhythm, the rhythm of one who is placed in the right position, in the right season, and in the right hands. When I am the one guiding you, you do not need to hurry in order to save yourself. You can walk slowly without shame, stop without feeling like a failure, remain silent without fearing you have been forgotten, because what I have prepared for you will not be lost simply because you choose to walk in peace. There are seasons when I do not add many new things to you, but remove old burdens from you. I remove from you the need to explain yourself to those who do not truly want to understand. I remove from you the weariness of always having to prove that you are worthy. I remove from you the guilt you feel when you set healthy boundaries. My beloved child, knowing how to say no in the light is not selfishness. Sometimes it is quiet obedience. Knowing how to say yes in peace is not recklessness. Sometimes it is faith that has matured. I do not want you to live as one who is dragged along by fear, nor do I want you to be controlled by the expectations of others. I want you to learn how to discern what comes from me and what merely wears the appearance of light while carrying pressure with it. When something causes you to lose your clarity, when an invitation draws you away from righteousness, when a path forces you to exchange peace for recognition, know that you do not have to step into it. I do not give you every opportunity. I give you what is aligned with the calling I have placed upon your life. I am rearranging your life with a gentle order. That order is not a rigid mold meant to confine you, but where what I have planted can grow without being trampled by chaos. You will learn how to live wholeheartedly without exhausting yourself. You will learn how to love without losing discernment. You will learn how to serve without forgetting to rest in me. You will learn how to open your heart while still guarding the holiness I have entrusted to you. Many people think that living strongly means always moving forward, always doing more, always carrying more. But I tell you, there is a higher strength, the strength of one who knows when to stop, what to choose, which burden to lay down, and how to return to me before the heart becomes dry. I do not rejoice when you are exhausted in the name of faithfulness. I do not require you to break in order to prove your love. I am your Father, and what I desire for you is not a life wrung dry, but a life nourished, illuminated, and filled by my presence. Remember Elijah, who once stood before great upheavals, who witnessed fire, a mighty wind, and the shaking of the earth. yet then heard me in a very gentle whisper. I do not always come to you with thunderous sound or shattering signs. Sometimes I come in a quiet space, in a simple meal, in rest that you think is useless, in a gentle reminder that you do not need to keep running. Elijah once became so weary that he wanted to give up the journey, but I did not punish him for that weariness. I let him rest. I fed him. I allowed him to be touched again by my care before he continued walking. Do you see? I am not only concerned with your assignment, I am concerned with you. I do not only look at what you do, I see your breathing, your endurance, and the hidden fatigue no one else recognizes. So when I tell you to rest, it is not delay. When I tell you to walk slowly, it is not falling behind. When I tell you to remain still in peace, it is not missing an opportunity. It is the way I keep you from paths that seem fast, but would draw you away from the true source of life. From that place, you will understand that this journey does not need to end with a loud shout, nor does it need to be marked by an event that makes everyone pay attention. Some of the deepest things I do within you end with a gentle breath, a stillness, a peace that needs no explanation. You no longer have to ask for one more sign just to believe that I am with you. You no longer have to seek one more promise to calm your anxiety. You are standing in what I have spoken over your life. You are living in the grace you once prayed for. What you need now is not to hurry in search of new proof, but to recognize that my hand is still holding you through every familiar step. The peace you have is not a small thing. The steadiness you are learning is not an accident. Your ability to smile without still trying to control everything is a sign that I have healed many deep places within you. Therefore, my beloved child, keep walking, but do not walk like someone who is lost. Keep living, but do not live like someone who must fight to earn love. Keep opening your heart, but do not open it to everything that pulls you away from me. I am not calling you into a life closed in by fear, nor am I pushing you into a life where you spend yourself to gain praise. I am calling you into a holy balance, courageous yet gentle, watchful yet peaceful, humble yet aware of the value I have placed within you. You can stand in the light without becoming proud, because that light does not come from you for you to boast in, but from me for you to reflect. You can be lifted up and still bow your heart, be entrusted with more and still keep simplicity, and step into wider days without losing the purity of your heart. I have completed what needed to be done in this season, not because everything outside has become perfect, but because inside you have been placed back upon the right foundation. The things that once confused you will no longer easily control you as before. The voices that once made you afraid will no longer have great power over you. The doors that do not belong to me, no matter how brightly they shine, will no longer enchant you as they once did, because you have learned to recognize the taste of true peace. From here, you do not walk to find me as though I am very far away. You walk with me, in me, under my covering. I am before you to open the way, beside you to uphold you, and within every rhythm of your life to remind you that you are not alone. Keep walking, but walk in peace. Remain where you are called, but remain in trust. Keep living, but live as one who was loved before doing anything at all. And as the days ahead unfold, you will no longer tremble like someone afraid of losing their portion, but will stand firm as one who knows that their good portion has been kept in my hands.